I think I told you this yesterday, one of the last times. There you go.
They're lying to me now. They've been lying to me my whole life. Welcome to the UC
The
Cedar
smoke
Show.
clears.
I got to turn our chat on so you can see that FinFan is in the house.
FinFan, what it?
Nice. Thank you, FinFan. Appreciate you, your emails and your participation in the chat.
100%.
Oh, I should have put my shirt on for the day. Oh my gosh, I love my shirt.
Oh yeah, I've been
so
out by the backyard trying to get my pool. I had to let go of my pool guy, bro.
Oh really?
Yeah, my filter housing's leaking. It's not getting fixed. He's got some. Listen, man, I love the guy, but he's got some personal stuff coming on, and unfortunately, I need my pool to be taken care of. So, bro, when you figure it out, hit me up. Right now, I need another guy or gal. It doesn't matter. I will not discriminate, bro. I'll take a chick. Come on over, clean my pool. I don't care, dude. I don't care what color, creed, religion, gender identity. Don't give a fuck. I just want my pool clean. You know what I'm saying?
When's the last time you jumped in that pool?
Oh man, it's been a minute, bro.
I was in mine pool today, yesterday. It actually cooled down a degree today.
Oh my god, dude. Are you actually watching the temperature on your pool water? Just jump in the motherfucker, man.
No, I jump in and I go, oh, my body just said, oh, it's a degree colder.
Bro, you need to jump in that thing in December.
We'll see.
Cold plunge, my guy.
Yeah.
Try the cold plunge, man. You know who believes in that? Joe Rogan, Dan Bongino. Those guys they swear by that stuff.
Well, I learned a new trick. It's called plug your nose and step into the pool.
That's a new trick for you, Gil.
Well, I used to forget.
You got a pretty sheltered thing going on, don't you?
I would forget to plug my nose, and I'd get a big nose full, and I'd be like, "Wow, this isn't fun."
Yeah, I haven't jumped in the pool in a while because it's been green, man. My guy, and then he came and he cleaned it up, and then it went away, and then you know how hot it got here, and it's just like if you don't have that stuff circulating right, it's going to go green. And then I saw this hack about putting some copper tubing in a container and throwing it in where your basket is, and that kind of keeps the algae at bay and blah blah blah. I just, you know what? I don't have time for that shit in my life, bro. I need a good pool person. Let's just call him a pool person. It's like the Italian in me is like, I got a guy, but you know what I mean? I don't care. I need a guy meaning it could be anybody. It could be a chick, a dude.
Just
I don't
show up
care.
every week.
Show up,
but
keep my pool clean, and earn your $150 a month.
Honestly,
or
I
whatever
learned this from an ex-girlfriend in Texas. Like every day, whether you like it or not, you got to get up, got to grab the brush, and do the push all the way around the pool, and then a couple times a week, you got to throw that freaking thing in
the
there,
shock. Yep.
Just and then of course, you don't want to swim right after you shock it, but you got to do a couple of those on your own, and then you got to check in with your pool guy and have him
test the chemicals, bro. That's what he's getting paid for, his expertise. You know what I mean? We just had the damn thing replastered, had all the tile cleaned, and it looks
cheap.
No,
I tried doing it myself a couple years ago. Cleaned the whole pool. I got the chemicals, and it was like a tox. I was sitting in the pool, and I was like, I can't handle it.
Dude, it's $9,000. That's worth every penny, bro. Let me just say
for the investment that you have and the value that it adds to your property. Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody. And I haven't seen anybody tune in yet on X or on YouTube, but we're streaming on those channels. If you're
try stream, tri-stream, triple stream,
we're doing this totally organic. We're not
triple ripple.
promoting. We're not telling anybody. We're just doing it. We'll see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens.
We might have to. We talked about that, Jill. Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna start
actually
doing something.
recording this in vertical, so like when I have the time, I need to go
Yeah,
back through and
there's
cut
that.
it up and send some of that out. But
I just got next couple months. Hey, listen, after November, my life is gonna get a lot easier, bro.
I was talking to a chef who runs a restaurant today, and I'm like, "How's it going?" He's like, "A lot of hours, a lot of hours." It's kind of a new start, and so I kind of shared with him some of the stuff I hear from you, and he goes, "Same story."
Different location,
Yeah,
bigger
exactly.
headache. I'm sure he's got bigger headaches than I do.
Same stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, good, okay, we're all on the same page." But he's like, he's like, I knew what I signed up for, and you've kind of said something of the same thing to me. I know what I signed up for. Like,
Well, yeah, dude.
it's
I
gonna
mean,
be a little challenging.
you listen, man. When you get the title, you don't really get to cook that much, but you get to bust balls, which is kind of fun too.
Oh my
Got it?
gosh, I don't know propaganda from fake news from,
Oh, what are you talking about?
but this morning I seen something about Tim Pool and
Oh,
Russia,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Man,
and then I look into it and I think, well, maybe it's real, and then I look later and it's like it could just be a bunch of bullshit. But DOJ is like effing with that guy.
well, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson. What's her name?
Yeah,
Laura Chen. Apparently, it's her company that signed a deal with somebody to. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Tim Pool, Dave Rubin. I don't know enough about it. It just sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. But
it
I
sounds
don't.
like a
I
setup.
don't
It's like,
see. Well, yeah, they're saying that they're working with Russia to get Trump. It's the Russia thing. So I think the DOJ is coming after it the wrong way because Laura Chen, after Trump kind of backpedaled or whatever he did on the pro-life thing when he said, "Hey, listen, it's a state's issue. I think 6 weeks isn't enough time." Whatever he did, that got all the you know the one issue voters all worked up, pro-life, pro-choice, whatever. Um, you know, a lot of people on the hard right, like Laura Chen, was kind of hardcore right, man. You know what I mean? And she was talking like I fuck that. And Nick Fuentes, who is also another hardcore right guy. Groypers, I don't know if you're familiar with Nick Fuentes, but young dude, has a big audience. Nothing huge like Crowder and them, but he's got the young guys, you know what I mean, that are young hard right dudes, you know what I mean? They're anti, Zionist and all that other stuff. He goes into the whole deal, but he's not really endorsing Trump, and I think he was part of that thing too. I'm not exactly sure, dude. It sounds to me like it doesn't sound like Tim Pool and Dave exactly. Dave Rubin and Benny Johnson know anything about working with Russia to get Trump elected. Did you see that clip today of Vladimir talking on some talk show in Russia, and they're asking who he would like to see president? He goes, "Well, we always liked it." He was totally trolling, but
yeah,
it was hilarious. Did you see that, bro? Where he said,
I,
"Yeah, well, we got to go with Kamala because her laughter is so fascinating. Her laughter." He said, "Her laughter is so fascinating. It just makes me feel like everything's all right, and it's telling us that everything's okay." So of course we support Kamala Harris. So I mean, it's like he's completely trolling everybody with that stuff. I mean, I don't think Putin's a dumb guy. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he's
yeah.
not.
You
Everybody
listen to
says
any
he.
of that Jack Posobiec today? Jack was talking about how Ukraine's been pushing into Russia, going
Yeah.
towards this nuclear plant, and
Yep.
close to where these pipelines are. And it's
Yep.
like this whole thing. He says, think about it, like all of this stuff. And we've heard others talk about they're going after the natural resources. Energy is power. What do you think the big play is over there?
Well, and that's what you got to think about when I was watching Trump talk about it. I think yesterday he's like, "Hey, the energy is where it's at, and we've got liquid gold underneath our feet right here, man." So now Kamala's talking. She's good with fracking, and she's such a fucking phony, dude. I really hope that Trump. I'm kind of glad that they got the mics muted and the same kind of rules that he did with Biden. Man, he
Oh
can't.
my gosh. We're
He
5 days away from
yeah,
that.
he can't step on his dick, when he does that. Dude, we're 13 days away from him going to jail, maybe, bro.
Oh, did you see those video clips of National Guard? First of all, there was like Army occupying a hotel, and then there's National Guard in major cities. And then today I saw a clip of like some big command center type vehicles getting all prepped. Like there's some BS getting ready. I mean, I think
Well,
we're in for something big. They're gonna drop something crazy.
yeah, something's going on over there. I don't know if they're getting ready for, civic unrest. If Trump goes to jail, it's New York City, so I can't imagine it's going to be too crazy, or civic unrest if he doesn't go to jail, or whatever, man. It's like, yeah, they're there. And then I was watching one guy talk about it. He goes, yeah, that's National Guard. Why are the Marines there? He goes, that uniform there with the rolled up sleeves and the wearing the tucked in boots and stuff, that's Marine. That's a Marine. That's not a National Guard guy. Why are the Marines involved here? That's what this one guy was talking about. So
Yeah, I've seen.
that's not a National Guard thing, So I don't know.
It could all be propaganda.
That's the military being involved at that point.
Yeah,
the Marines are there.
Sure.
I don't know, bro. It's something. There's some fuckery afoot. Let's just put it that way. There is some fuckery afoot, and I'm not sure why those people are occupying those places. Are they occupying those places to keep the illegal migrants in check because they're going to be occupying those hotel rooms? I don't know, bro. I don't know, but it's costing you and me and everybody who's watching or sees this in a rebroadcast or whatever money, because we're the taxpayers paying those guys' salaries. For what?
Yeah.
We're not sure. We're not sure. And then if you think that it's Ukraine going into fucking Russia, think again. Come on. Let's put it. I mean, think again, bro. I mean, think again. Come on. Well, and they already blew up one of the F-16s. I guess their top pilot fucked that up. I don't know.
Yeah, they blew it up themselves. Like they
in some kind of a friendly fire accident. Yeah, come on.
It's just an F-16,
Yeah, what, 70 million?
Pilot,
What are they, like $75 million, something like that?
Yeah, and you can't replace that pilot either. That's terrible.
No.
Yeah.
They got those F-16s from Poland. Listen, man, it's... Oh, dude, just hit the button again. Just do it.
So, yeah.
What do you got going there, bro? What is that? Happy birthday and finish?
Yeah. It's the Finnish happy birthday show.
It is the Finnish. Mama FinFan.
Yeah, Mama FinFan. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Heiva Sintimpavia.
I'm not even going to try it, bro.
Hey, I tried it. I gave it a shot.
You gave it a whirl, bro. I'll give you
come
E for
back
effort.
to that later.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
All right. Okay, let's go to that first cut.
Let's do it.
So we're here with Kristen Megan. She's a military veteran, right?
Yes, I was in the U.S. Air Force for 9 years.
Wow. And you came out and blew the whistle on geoengineering, things that you witnessed were going on. Can you give us the real nutshell?
Absolutely. Basically, I had heard of what many people know as the term chemtrails. And I worked in a job called bioenvironmental engineering. And I thought that was insane. And why would we do something like that? Modify the weather by using hazardous materials in our atmosphere. So, and actually the process of trying to debunk it or disprove it, I realized it was actually coming right out of my office, as I was one of the people that was approving the chemicals. And it really shook the core of my oath. And I did a lot of sampling, did a lot of investigation, and I blew the whistle and I got out. And I've now used my credentials, my oath, and my powers for good to help people understand it's very real. It's now openly admitted. There are multiple forms of weather modification. I specifically found the one of stratospheric aerosol injection. And collectively around the globe, we have to understand that it is now being admitted because they're saying it's combating climate change. Well, the climate change we need to be worried about is man-made climate engineering, also known as geoengineering.
And when you say you had chemicals being pumped into the air, what kind of chemicals are they putting out that rain down on humanity, basically?
Nanoparticulate metals, like we had different sulfates and barium and strontium. I know it's probably changed over time. I know they use silver iodide for certain things, but these are the odd part of it was the quantities that I saw them coming in, the form that they were coming in, and it's the same type of materials that I was trying to engineer out of the workplace to substitute with safer materials. And when you notice that the what's called the safety data sheet, the information about a chemical of what personal protective equipment to wear,
The
how do you dispose of
MSD.
it, how do you pack it to ship it? When key information is missing, I ask questions, and my questions led to demonization, and I knew I found something I shouldn't have.
That's insane. So these metals are basically toxic for the humans, I would presume, or?
Yes, because it also has aluminum, and a lot of people will tell you, well, these things aren't horrible in small quantities. It's not small quantities, because when you are putting things above us, the dissipation rates are dependent on weather and climate, but it's getting into the food, it's getting into the soil. And around the world, these wastewater treatment plants, when it comes to pharmaceuticals, or these toxicants is what they're called, they are not able to filter them out. So if you're growing organic food, are we going to go back to the plexiglass barriers on our plants? I mean, it's horrible. That's why you can ban it anywhere. We've had states in the United States ban it, and that is great to get the ball rolling. But people really need to wake up to it, irrespective of any political party. It's not okay. And you're seeing a huge increase in neurodegenerative issues like Alzheimer's. It's really difficult for people with respiratory issues and asthma. And people are wondering why they have allergies 24/7, 365.
And I liked what you said about that climate change, or the change we experience in weather. Often we can't disconnect that from these geoengineering activities. Do you want to say something more about that? I mean, how do we feel that? Is there proof or so that is definitely coming from that?
Yes, there are places that openly admitted it. Remember Dubai? And then when people got upset, they retracted it, but the can was already opened. And the issue is, I know this sounds silly, but when you watch movies with time change, they say if you do something and something changes, it changes the ripple throughout time. If you are modifying the weather, you are messing with Mother Nature. And meteorology is a very, very thorough study. And I do know a lot of it because of my profession of plotting hazards. But it does not make sense when you are altering nature where things are not naturally supposed to occur. We had massive flooding in California, and we have a system called HARP that is in the United States. And the same people who demonized me 5-10 years ago are now going, wow, because they're finding it's openly admitted in all of our U.S. documents. The U.S. is absolutely not the only country doing it.
Yeah, we've heard her before on a previous transmission. Kristen Megan, she's a Army whistleblower. She was in the military in charge of trying to make sure that all the chemicals and things were being that they were reducing their how much we were putting out. And then she discovered there was these massive shipments coming in, and she investigated more and more, and then they drummed. I think they did she end up leaving the military, or
I believe so, yeah. Megan, what's her name? Kristen Megan, yeah.
Kristen Megan, yeah. We watched some stuff about. It's good to see more stuff from her.
Follow her on X, man. She's I
will. You're right, FinFan. She did nail it. She's got her, like, she understands that what's really going on, is able to speak right to it.
She was part of it, and then she went, "Wait a minute, why am I doing this?"
Yeah.
She didn't know that she was part of it, part of the bigger plan. I think that's the way it goes in those situations, man. You only know what you need to know, because that way the people that know everything can control everything.
Yeah.
It's like when go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you remember that video I played, that chemtrail cowboy, early on, one of our first?
Yeah.
And in there, the guy basically, and when I've read articles about this, that the pilots that they select to do this they don't really have families. They're like disconnected from humanity in some way. I mean, how could you be the pilot knowing you're spraying chemicals that are gonna hurt people? They're gonna hurt the planet, hurt the soil.
I think some people actually think it's doing some good, and I agree with what Kristen said there, is that and I've actually heard Bobby Kennedy say it too. He says, just stop fucking with it, man. And, nature will take care of itself,
Yeah.
Just stop trying. Bill Gates, please stop. Stop with your crazy, cloud. You want to block the sun with the climate change. Stop trying to get everybody vaccinated with your flying syringe mosquitoes. Just stop, bro. Or just go away and take your fucking gazillions of dollars and go live in your bunker and do whatever it is that you do, you fucking freak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah. Thanks
you know.
for pulling that clip down. I like that one.
Yeah, man, she's awesome, and I immediately followed her on X, and you know, it's like, you know, I mean, I got turned on to geoengineering a long time ago with geoengineeringwatch.org with Dane Wigington. I mean, dude, if you watch any of his videos, he starts. Oh, if you want to watch a great video about this that got me started on it a long time ago, it's on YouTube. It's called The Dimming. And at the beginning of it, it's a documentary, and this guy is actually a solar engineer, right? So he is like, I would probably consider him a lefty or whatever, but he was just like, you know, he likes to live off the grid. That's why he was developing these solar panels and stuff. And as he's living off the grid, he said he started noticing this rainbow effect of oil on top of the groundwater in the woods. And he's like, well, wait a minute, where's that coming from? There's no oil out here. There's no nothing. And he goes, and it was just coming from, you know, the runoff and the rain and whatnot. So, and then he's been a big time voice against stratospheric aerosol injection. You know what I mean? Which John Brennan himself, don't talk to me about chemtrails aren't real, when the fucking former head of the CIA, John Brennan, was like, this is one of the things of the most interest to me is the stratospheric aerosol injection.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's just genius that we can save the planet by blocking out the sun. People sound retarded. They sound fucking retarded,
I
man.
met a guy in line at a Trump rally who told me he was a pilot, and I'm like, so what do you think about all these chemtrails and all this geoengineering? And he's like, oh, that's not real.
Oh.
Like, evidently, not everybody really understands what's really going on.
My brother's a pilot. He goes, dude, those are condensation trails. I'm like, bro. And I turned him on to Dane Wigington, and he's like, oh, holy shit. Because, dude, he shows in the beginning of the movie, he shows all the patents for the devices that go on the planes to spray the shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all patented, and and then he shows the diagrams and the blueprints and all the fucking plans on how they build these planes. And I'm telling you, bro.
FinFan says Google Operation Popeye.
Yes, exactly.
They're superstorms.
Yeah, exactly. He's exactly right. That was back then. They were they were manipulating the weather to get them to flood out in the jungle so that they, you know, could drive them to a certain spot, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. I remember reading briefly about Operation Popeye. But look at also Google the HARP satellite system that they've got. Bro, I'm telling you, man.
Is that the one where they're shooting lasers up into the sky to try to drag all these storm clouds together? And
dude, if you look at, I was watching this one guy one of the more recent hurricanes, and he didn't have any plans at all or anything like that, but he's just a guy who was an ex-military guy who knew about the HARP system, and he goes, look at this. They were watching the maps of the hurricane moving, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, watch here where they have the HARP satellites. During the hurricane, he goes, it's like you could see them turn them on right here. Watch it. It's coming over this way, over them. All of a sudden it goes, it sucks in a little bit and turns and goes around it.
Yeah.
Literally moved a hurricane. Now, that's his speculation. It could have been wind. It could have been a lot of other things too. He goes, but dude, that's where the HARP satellites are. Those things are powerful. They can make a lot of shit happen.
Yeah.
Another thing to do a deep dive on. So we got to do HARP satellites, bro. Geoengineering. We got to do freaking ranked choice voting. We got to do. I don't really care about Epstein's list anymore. It's all fucking crazy. A lot of people are still talking about that.
Yeah, I actually, who was that? Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer was talking about that. Here, I got a cut from him. He's talking about it.
Jumping out of sequence, bro.
That's right.
Names are true. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's some names on there that, when I say broke my heart, it breaks my heart. They're huge actors. Huge. musicians. Huge. And the thing is, it's out there. The list is out there. I've seen it multiple times. And like I said, it started 2 years ago. It's up to you to go look for it. And so many of you are not ready. If it was true, which is a little weird that the whole, it's a human trafficking trial. It's not. So let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about gun laws. Let's talk about Ukraine. No. Let's talk about that. Why aren't we talking about that? I'll tell you why. It has the potential to collapse governments, music industry, film and TV industry. Do you realize the magnitude? We're talking like, okay, here's Hollywood, here's government, including ours. And here's all of Hollywood and all the biggest musicians you grew up going, I love them. And all of a sudden just gone. Because if I find a name, which I have to say, there are certain names, and I don't know if they're true. Nobody knows they're true until they officially come out and go, yeah, it's true. It's on the internet, some guy reading the names, reading them. He read them. But here's what's interesting. Nobody that has been put out there has claimed, hey, man, this stuff is all BS. Stop including me. I haven't seen it.
Okay, here's the thing. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of names of a lot of people. And again, I'm not saying they didn't do anything bad, but there was also a lot of times that there was big fundraisers and stuff like that, that this Jeffrey Epstein was hosting there. And if your name's on the list, you might have just gone out to a party there. It doesn't necessarily mean you were into the pedophilia thing. I'm sure a lot of people were into the young girl thing, but a lot of people went over there and that were invited for high dollar fundraising functions and things of that nature. Listen, Jeffrey Epstein was definitely, in my opinion, and I have no proof of this, but my gut check is telling me CIA asset. He had every one of those rooms, all the banging that did go on there. There's tapes of that somewhere. There's tapes of highly influential people having sex with underage girls and probably boys. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that nothing like that. I guarantee you there would be some earth-shattering news if we did actually get a chance to have all that stuff dumped. But not everybody on the list was playing that game, bro. You know what I mean? Because it is a big-ass list, and there's a lot of really highly influential people that went out there. It's like, just like a lot of highly influential people go out to Bohemia Grove every year. A lot of them do it once. The people that go back a second time are the sick fucks. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of just strange goings on with the powerful elite, man. But yeah, I mean, did every single person that's on that list engage in pedophilia? I mean, I'd have to say, again, just the logical Jeffy is saying probably not. A lot of people did, though. A lot of people did.
Yeah,
now,
those
just because
FBI tapes are that's where the
squashed, bro.
Yeah,
it's squashed.
All right, let's get back on track.
Do it, bro. Do it.
Here we go.
An end to the use of fossil fuels to stem both climate change and global poisoning. A circular world economy that wastes nothing and reuses everything. Renewable food for everyone to sustain all humanity and reduce the threat of war. A stewards of the earth plan for rewilding half the earth, run by farmers and indigenous people. A clean up the earth plan, including a new human right not to be poisoned. A world population plan, providing voluntary family planning for all. A world pandemic plan to prevent and arrest the uncontrolled spread of disease caused by human behavior. A global technology convention to oversee all the powerful new technologies before they are put to dangerous misuse. A World Truth Commission to expose the liars and their lies to public shame. and an Earth system currency to try to correct the rape of our planet by an infinite supply of otherwise totally imaginary money. There are many other actions that must be taken to mitigate the dangers in which humans now stand, and most of them are explained in How to Fix a Broken Planet. At the heart of this, as I said, is an Earth System Treaty, a legal compact by which the world's people, not just its governments, but everyone, that includes you and me, which commits all of those who sign it to work for a habitable Earth and a safer human future.
Globalist.
That sounds like communism.
No, it's globalism, dude. It's one world government. It's one we're all. There is no borders. And I mean, the one thing that he says it so quick and off the cuff. It's like reduce the Earth's population by 75%.
Yeah, I saw that. We'll quickly go through. Oh,
voluntary. Yeah, voluntary family planning. What does that mean? Voluntary family planning. Voluntary. Voluntary family planning. I don't know what that means. That dude and people, and he made it look like it would be so good, right? Be so good to have a one world currency. Be so good to reduce the population by 75%.
Half the planet, there'd be room for us just to have wild animals.
Well, hey, listen, man. I think there's enough room in the United States anyway. If we stop, letting the invaders in, for our cattle to run free. You know what I mean? There's plenty, dude. I've flown over the country many times, as have you, I'm sure.
There's a lot of
open land.
Yes.
Yeah. Let the farmers farm, man. Let the farmers farm. Let the ranchers ranch. And let's figure out a more humane way to treat the animals that give us life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the factory farming thing is disgusting, and what they shoot these fuckers up with all these hormones, and good luck. I'm telling you, man, we got some going back to the Cali Means thing. I mean, just the way they mass produce food around here is just disgusting.
Biffman thinks that last guy was a ChatGPT bot.
Very well could have been. Very well could have been, Fin. Anyway.
All right. So, I'm not for anything that guy talked about.
No, he's a one global population, and everybody needs to be kumbaya. Never gonna fucking happen. Never gonna fucking happen.
Not without a lot of power and control and a lot of people.
Yeah, there's who's gonna be and who's in charge of it. Right. There's going to be, You don't want to have some global fucking leader that we all bow down to. Go fuck yourself. That's what I say to that.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Cut 3.
In one sentence, what this book is about, The Great Reset, Global Elites, and the Permanent Lockdown, is the once free West emulating one-party ruled China and finally achieving that vision in March of 2020. And now they want to keep the party rolling. We have France banning airline flights of 2.5 hours or less. EU-wide flight bans are now being considered. You have the electric car, gas-powered cars being banned without a single vote of democracy. U.S. Congress never approved it. The California state legislature. This is coming from executive orders, unelected bureaucrats, the Environmental Protection Agency, and it's coming through corporate government collusion. We're watching meat eating be severely restricted with John Kerry, with the Netherlands, with Sri Lanka, with the United Nations, World Economic Forum, with Bill Gates buying up farmland. You're watching transportation being collapsed, climate compliance costs on airlines. Just last week, or 2 weeks ago, CNN, huge article, carbon passports for each individual to limit your number of flights. Once you hit your carbon max, your passport doesn't allow you to fly anymore. This is the world. This is way beyond an energy debate about solar and wind, although that's part of it. They're rationing energy to create shortages. Anyway, that's what I wrote this book about. And we had Western leaders. When people say stuff, we should listen. New York Times, Tom Friedman back in the 2000s was praising one-party rule China as enlightened, as being able to get things done. The UN climate chief praised China's one-party rule, lamented democracy. Justin Trudeau said he admired China's basic dictatorship. You have the Apple CEO praising China, saying that their Apple's and China's values align. You had Energy Secretary Granholm. You've had World Economic Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, you have the UN. I can go on and on about people praising China, not just the country and its culture, but the one-party rule. And finally, COVID and emergency decrees got them that. And that's why Joe Biden wants to declare a national climate emergency, 130 new executive powers. NBC News reporting similar to the powers he would have that any governor or mayor would have during COVID.
Yeah, that was Jason Burmes's nightly show. Mark Morano, that dude's great. I'll tell you what. You should check out Jason Burmes. You know, what's it called? It's on. He's got something in figuring out living life in the madness or something like that. It's like he's great. Monopoly Man Control. Exactly, FinFan. Exactly. We don't need Monopoly Man Control. You know what? These youngsters don't even know what the fuck that means, man. But they need to figure that one out. Sorry for the language today. And a little pumped up. You know what I'm saying? Pumped up. Anyway. Oh, happy birthday, Mom. Yes, in Finland. What happened? I thought you had Finland in there.
It didn't fit right.
Oh, my God. Now all of a sudden you're becoming like this perfectionist guy?
I don't know.
Hey, Gilbo.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to like roll with the punches.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
Rolling
go
with
to,
the punches.
So basically, we didn't vote for it, but our betters have decided that all these things are needed, you know, because of man-made climate change.
Oh, my God. I'm just tired of it, bro.
I know.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the carbon counters. I'm tired of all this fucking bullshit about carbon CO2 is our enemy, and you know, and we're listening to guys like freaking Al Gore and John Kerry, who don't have a freaking clue, man. They don't have a goddamn clue.
That Roseanne Barr and RFK Jr. interview.
I didn't see it.
They're so entrenched in their orthodoxy, and they're training up these children in schools.
Yep.
So they all believe this BS.
Yeah.
And how
it's indoctrination.
The only way we're going to break through is we just got to ask questions. So,
yeah.
Why do we want to outlaw gasoline cars when
why?
They go far.
Right. Well, again, it's just like that. It's just like the conversation that I forget who was having the conversation. They were talking about wanting to make. Well, Trump was talking about it actually. The electric. They wanted to make the long haul trucks electric, and he said he was talking to a guy who owns a bunch of trucks, and he goes, "Yeah, they just keep getting better and better." He goes, "You know, I could get across the country and a third of the way back on one full load of diesel fuel. I got to stop 6 times with an electric truck. Don't let alone the fact that the weight of those batteries to push a truck that far is half of the payload or a third of the payload or something like that. And it's too heavy to drive on bridges and, you know, the weight restricted highways and byways and all that other stuff. So they'd have to reconfigure the whole freaking infrastructure. If you think I mean, they don't, let alone the crimes against humanity to mine for the products to make the batteries. Nobody's taking any of that into consideration. None of it. Nobody takes into consideration how much carbon footprint is used to actually build a windmill and put it up. And then what do you do when the blades go bad?
Yeah, and those things don't last forever. So
no, and neither do the solar panels. They're saying
they just pile them up in big piles.
Yeah.
And somebody's got a piece of land. Hey, let's there's not enough room on Earth to store all of the, the used up windmills that they're going to build.
16 hours, 180 closure in California last month when Tesla electric big rig caught fire. Toxic cloud. Was that the thing we smelled here? Remember when they had that fire out in Cali? Was that the same one? 180. That's probably up north. But there was a fire in California. It was an electrical battery, a lithium battery fire. And I remember walking outside going, man, that doesn't smell right. I thought there was fires. Usually when we get the drift from the fire, from the wildfires, it smells like burning wood. It smelled like burning death.
Chemicals, yeah.
Yeah, gross. Yeah,
All
it
right.
ain't good. It ain't good. If you want to do it, man, you have the option to do it. But man, don't mandate that shit.
Yeah, exactly. This clip is from the Doctor Evil. Here's my Doctor Evil cut.
It's quite clear in this case that it came across through animals. And almost all our diseases, like HIV, crossed over from chimpanzees in Africa quite some time ago. Ebola came from bats. This also, with one step in between, came from bats. So it's going to keep happening, particularly with climate change, where we're invading a lot of habitats.
Okay, did you catch the buried lead?
Yeah.
What was the buried lead?
It's gonna keep happening.
No. Yes, that's it. The buried lead. Did you hear what he said? He goes, Ebola came from bats.
Oh,
This
right.
one also came from bats with one step in between. What was that, Bill? What was that one step in between, Bill?
Gain of
What-
function.
Maybe, Bill, with one step in between. Oh, he said that the bad part out loud, Gil.
Yes, he did. And he's a scientist now. He's like,
Oh yeah, he's a fucking scientist, just like he's a software engineer.
yeah, like he's a software programmer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy is a fucking.
They need to arrest him, and someone needs to like just do the investigation.
I mean, I still don't understand why people take him seriously on all of these things. Where's your credentials for this, bro? How are you the expert on vaccines when we know that every time you've done like volunteer vaccines, a lot of kids died, right? Didn't that happen in Africa or Haiti? Wasn't one of the when
He's still doing diabolical. I saw something yesterday where he's over there with the head of some other country, and he's gonna help them revolutionize something in Africa, and it's just gonna cause more death and destruction and pain and suffering for humans. I don't even remember what that one was. I have to look that one up. Yeah, I don't like that guy.
and answering some work texts because I wasn't there all day today.
Good for you. Okay, so
Yeah, no.
So Liz Cheney has come out now, and she's
Liz
endorsing
Cheney.
Kamala Harris.
Hooray, Liz Cheney.
Who's Liz Cheney? She's
Oh.
this. She's the daughter of Dick Cheney. Who? What? What company does he? Does he have a company that he runs?
What was it? Halliburton.
Halliburton. Oh, those guys. That's
Yeah.
part of the military-industrial complex. Yeah, these guys aren't good either.
No.
Yeah, so she's totally switched sides now.
Of course she has.
But this is back in the day, what she used to think of Kamala.
As somebody who is a centrist. And in one fell swoop here, he has put somebody on the ticket whose voting record in the Senate is to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So I think that, the American people are going to look at the substance of this. They're going to look at what she stood for in the past. They're going to look at what she said during the primary election. And it's very clear. She is a radical liberal. She's somebody that has said we ought to spend $32 trillion on Medicare for all. If you look at her record as well in California, she did, in fact, essentially ban gun sales with executive action. And she threatened during the primaries to do the same.
Yeah. So
And now she endorses her.
now she's totally endorsing her. Yeah.
Rhino. Rhino. She's not even a rhino. Dude, rhino, I mean, come on. Technically, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna come out. I'm coming out today, bro. I'm actually a rhino.